All right, welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of my music collection. Now, after after the last video, I'm sure I had every real Smashing Pumpkins fans absolutely shivering in their timbers, quivering in their boots, as they'd say, that I was going to skip Pisces Iscariot and just go straight to Melancholy. And I thought about it, and then maybe do Pisces later. But if we're going in order, skipping Gish, because I'm sorry, Gish, that's just how it has to be. Pisces would be next. It is technically a studio album. It was technically released on record, sorry, on label, or whatever they call it in the business. And before we start this, I also want to talk about how I'm going to make a bit of a differences in how I go about this. So the last video was just me gushing about Siamese Dream for a very long time, which I didn't really mind. This is entertaining, but I definitely think these should probably be a bit shorter. So we're gonna maybe not go through every single song, especially because when you get to longer albums, like Melancholy is a perfect example, which will probably be the next video. Melancholy is a perfect example. It's already going to be 2 parts, but at least that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, those are very long track lists. This is also a bit of a long track list. It's 14 songs, but talking again like Siamese Dream, just every song isn't really the most time friendly and would just have me sitting here for quite a while. And trust me, I have a lot of music to get through, so yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think what I'll do is I'll talk a bit about the overall album, maybe some history on it and whatnot, and then talk about my favorite songs, what I think the album sounds like, anything. Honestly, it's just anything to keep it kind of more brief. So this video might be a tad bit longer than I'm looking for when I say that, but that's because I got the whole explanation and intro at the start. So anyway. Let's start. So this is Pisces Iscariot. It came after Siamese Dream. It came out in 1994, and it's basically just a bunch of B-sides and unreleased stuff from Gish and Siamese Dream era. And in being so, pretty much every song on this album is also incredible. A lot of them are what you'd consider the sleeper underground favorites, you know what I mean? Got songs like Starla and Soothe, Hello Kitty Cat. It's got Landslide, which is arguably one of their most famous songs, the cover of Fleetwood Mac, which it is a really great song. But the whole album kind of just has this interesting feel, kind of like Siamese and Gish, where like there's a lot of heavier songs, faster songs, and then there's a lot of mellow songs, a lot of acoustic songs, a lot of sad songs. I'm kidding, there's only like a couple on here. But with that being said, let's go into some of the songs. So one of my favorite songs off this album is literally the first track, because in true Smashing Pumpkins fashion, it kind of gives you a false sense of what this album will be about, and that's Soothe. And Soothe is a very slow song, very sad song, almost like it's written like it's like a lullaby for a child. But yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins acoustic songs, and it's just got this this guitar in it that's also just really good. That's literally just like guitar vocals. That's pretty much it, and it's kind of what you'd expect from that era. It's equally amounts as sad as it could also be, I don't know, like just mellow. It's just got that whole kind of vibe to it. And it's immediately followed by Frail and Bedazzled, which pretty much classic Pumpkins. It's just a rock song. You go from a song like Soothe to a song like Frail and Bedazzled. And then if we're talking about other songs, I think we go next to Whir, which is track 4. It's called Whir. It's probably, as of recent, my favorite song on this album. It's definitely got like an OG kind of like Gish sound, like the song Blue kind of sounds like that, which is also on this album. It's just got that whole like there's videos on on YouTube of the Pumpkins way back in like Gish era, where they're just like sitting in a park on acoustic guitars all playing together. That's kind of what that song. It's like a perfect representation of that kind of vibe, as the kids say, that era. Which, you know, I am a kid. I'm very young, by the way. In case you didn't know that, I am only 21. But anyway, then we'll go to another song. We'll actually go to Landslide, which is the cover of a Fleetwood Mac song, you know, sung by Stevie Nicks. And it's a great cover. It definitely makes sense that it's one of their more well-liked fan favorite songs, because it's a great cover. And very emotional, very sad, just like the original song. And if you're a fan of Fleetwood Mac, you'll probably like this cover as well. With that, we'll go to Blue. So Blue is kind of like the same thing as Were, like I was talking about, where it's you know, it's very upbeat, kind of happy rock song, and it just gives off that kind of gish. Seems like almost like off the cuff, like just jamming, you know what I mean? Which is, it's great. That's why a lot of people like that era of Smashing Pumpkins, and I could totally agree and see exactly why. So I think that's where we're gonna end it for some of my favorites. It's been a while since I've listened to this album all the way through. Usually when I go back and listen to it, if I don't have that much time, I'll just listen to like those couple songs or whatever. But overall, I mean, it's an incredible album. It's a Smashing Pumpkins album. Before the year like 2001. After Machina, you know, it's questionable, but what you'd come to expect from an album before 2001, they're all great. They all have what people have come to expect from the Smashing Pumpkins, I guess, from that era. And that's why it's a great album, and that's why ultimately I decided to not skip this or just do it later, because realistically I feel like there's some bands like Smashing Pumpkins that have B-sides records like this, unreleased music B-sides records, that just fit in their catalog, and they're just that good. I think another good example that we'll talk about later is like Oasis Master Plan. I mean, the Master Plan is arguably one of their best albums anyway, B-sides album, right? So with that, I think that's gonna kind of come to a close here, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to try and keep a lot of these videos at, is shorter, like 6 to 8 minutes, just talking about what I think about the album. Maybe give a bit of a summary for this album. It's amazing, obviously. It's a 10. Can't wait for Melancholy so I can give both sides a 10 out of 10 to make it one of my few ever 20 out of 10 albums. That's a 200% score. Absolutely incredible, right? So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys like this, even though it's not Roblox. I saw recently, the other day when I uploaded my first one, one of my Roblox videos hit like 640 views or something, just absolutely crazy like that. Truly out of left field, but from what I saw, the game was like blown up on TikTok or something like that, so it doesn't surprise me. So hopefully all you actual children out there might find this content interesting as well, and, you know, maybe enjoy some of the music that I grew up with, that I love listening to, that I think is great, you know, because at the end of the day, I think that's kind of really what this is more about, is not only is it for me, because I enjoy doing it and talking about music, but, you know, if I can share with somebody else out there what has given me such enjoyment in life, you know, what's kind of made my life, you know what I mean, for the past like decade, that's what it's all about. So I hope you guys stay tuned with the series, and I hope you enjoy them, and I will see you guys next time for part 1 of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Thanks for watching, guys.